Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making Instant Pot Beef Manhattan. I'm starting out here with roughly a 2.5 pound London broil. The reason I'm using London broil because this was buy one get one free. You can't beat a deal like that, but any kind of beef will do. Now I'm going to start by trimming a little bit of this excess fat off of the beef, and there really isn't much here. If you have a dog, they'll love you for that. We're just going to let that on there. Now I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper. I pat this dry paper towel. Some pepper. I'm going to turn it over, take my fork and just press that spice down in there. Turn it over and season the other side. Alright, now I'm going to cut this in half. And the reason I'm cutting this in half is because this will cook quicker in the Instant Pot if you do it in 2 pieces rather than one whole roast. Alright, now I'm using my Instant Pot Dual Crisp with Ultimate lid. I've just set on saute and it's hot. And if you don't have an Instant Pot, this will easily work in any pressure cooker that you have. Instant Pot's just pretty much a pressure cooker, and that's a name brand. Now I'm going to add some olive oil in here. Probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons. And I'm going to brown up my roast 1 piece at a time. We're going to get nice and brown on both sides. Alright, now that my meat is done browning up, I turn this off. I'm going to add in a cup of water. And we're going to deglaze the pot. Now what that means is we're just scraping up those bits on the bottom. That's going to do 2 things. It's going to give us a nice, rich, delicious flavor for our gravy that we're going to have. And it's going to keep this from getting a burn notice, because Instant Pots are famous for getting a burn notice. So you just want to take something non-metal and just work around in there and scrape them bits up with that water. You can see how that's turning into a nice beef broth already. But I'm going to add I'm using some bouillon powder. You could also use a can of beef broth if you don't want to use bouillon powder. I'm going to add some bouillon powder in here. For 1 cup of water, it calls for 2 teaspoons. I'm going to give that a stir, get that all dissolved so that don't burn on the bottom of the pot. I'm going to get my beef roast back in there. You can see how nice and golden brown that got. And I'm just going to nestle it down in there. Alright. And I'm going to drizzle a little bit of Worcestershire sauce on top of the beef. This is going to cook into the beef and give it added flavor. I'm going to close my lid down. Make sure we're locked. Alright, I'm going to press my pressure cook button. And I'm going to set my time for 30 minutes. And I'm going to set my steam release on a natural release. Press start. Alright, my beef is done pressure cooker. I'm just doing that natural release of pressure. In the meantime, I took a long piece of foil, double it in half. I cut 4 red skin potatoes up in chunks about this big. And I sprinkled some salt over them. We're going to cook the mashed potatoes in the pressure cooker. Now I have a half a stick of butter. I'm going to put right down on top there. And I'm going to close this up into a pouch. And it don't have to be completely closed, you just have to have it closed enough that when it's done, the juices from the potatoes and the butter doesn't run out all over the place, because we're going to transfer this to a bowl and mash it up then. Alright, did that natural release. I took my roast beef out to rest. Now we're going to make an onion gravy. I have a 10.5 ounce can of French onion soup. It's going to be the easy way to do this, guys. I'm going to dump that in there. Give that a stir, and I'm going to taste it for seasoning salt. That has a really good roast beef flavor, guys. I'm going to put on about a half a teaspoon of salt. Give that a stir. And try her out. That's good right there. Got a little bit of onion off. Now I'm going to take the trivet that came with my Instant Pot and put it down in here. We're going to have to do it the other way. So this pressure cooker here, the pot isn't very deep. And I'm going to sit my potatoes down in the trivet. Alright, I'm going to close my lid down. We're going to lock it in. And I'm going to set this to pressure cook for 6 minutes. After the 6 minutes, I'll do a quick release of the pressure. My potatoes are done. I took them out. Now I set this on saute and it's coming up to a boil. I'm going to put in a cornstarch slurry. This is 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and probably about 4 tablespoons of water. I'm going to stir that in there, and I'm going to allow that to start to thicken up into a nice gravy. Alright, my gravy's done. Now my mashed potatoes, the potatoes weren't quite done. I had to finish them off in the microwave for another 6 minutes. So I'd probably do them in the pressure cooker for 10 minutes. Now I have a slice of Italian bread here. I'm going to take some of my roast beef and we're going to slice some. Just move this out of the way. And this beef is tender. I'm just going to layer some on the bread. Now you can toast your bread if you like. I'm just doing it this way. I use Italian bread because it has more body than a white bread. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my gravy, and I'm going to bring my plate over here out the shot, put some gravy on it. Put some gravy on top of that beef. And I'm going to put a nice scoop of mashed potatoes on top. I'm going to add a little more gravy. And a little bit of fresh parsley. Alright guys, let me get in here and give this a try. I'm going to go for some of these mashed potatoes with gravy. Well seasoned, buttery. The gravy's delicious, guys. Try some of this beef with gravy and some potatoes. That's really delicious. The beef is tender. It's really infused with a good beef flavor from that beef broth. The bread soaked up all that gravy. You get the mashed potatoes in there. That's really delicious, guys. It wasn't hard at all. It's a one-pot meal. Alright, there you have it. Instant Pot Beef Manhattan. Thanks for watching and supporting me. Remember, love what you eat and eat what you love.